sunshiny day.
It is. Emily, I want you to know you got a really great atta-girl from Steve yesterday. He was talking to someone about how you are innovative and interesting and unique, and he loves coming to Fit Wits.
Well, that was really sweet. I appreciate you telling me. I think I have a bad internet connection. Or is anyone, I'm getting the unstable connection sign.
You are popping in and out.
How's it coming across? Okay, I'm gonna close it and come back.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
You need to show us the purple screen anyhow, Martha.
Yeah, what happened to Mary? Is her name Mary?
Mary.
What happened to her?
I don't know. You know, it could have been unstable, or she could have been impatient. And sometimes that's okay too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do we see purple? No, we don't.
No, we don't.
No, we don't. If Martha had the share screen option up, that would have helped. Some days I just can't get my ducks in a row. Because the bird, you know, he kind of.
Yeah, it's the bird's fault. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you ready? Okay. Does everybody see purple?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Activities for People Living with Dementia. We are proud to offer this series with funding from the Area Agency on Aging and the United Way of Tarrant County. Some of our programs are recorded and some are made available for viewing through a YouTube channel for future use. Good morning, Emily. And it is my proud pleasure to introduce Emily one more day. Emily is going to do Fit Wits with us to train our brains. And she's wearing a hat to keep her brains all in this morning.
That's right.
Emily, the program belongs to you.
Thank you. I figured Phil was about to get on me for not having it, so I would put it on before I.
Well, he's got his on now.
Ah, see, there he comes.
There he comes. He's got his hat on now.
Our thinking caps. Somebody the other day mentioned thinking cap.
Right?
That was so funny. Yes.
What?
Someone the other day mentioned thinking caps, and I think that's so funny.
It is our thinking cap. Thank you, Dawn.
Now Don got his hat on.
Yes, Marge, we encourage hat wearing here with this group. We like to put on our thinking cap when we're together.
And if you can use a hot pad.
A coaster.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's a kind of a hat.
Paper bag.
You're already wearing a bird hat, so it doesn't matter, Martha.
Yes, I have my fascinator every day, don't I?
Yeah.
He has our fascinator on. So is my internet connection a little bit better, you all? Okay.
Great for me.
Good.
Yep.
Okay.
Everybody else?
Yep. It looks like it's okay from our end.
Ooh, go get it.
This is supposed to be a blue light and it's orange. So I'm just letting you know that I don't know. We want it to turn blue. Let's give it our blue energy. Come on, turn blue. So it's good. If it's working right now, it means it's coming from around a corner. Oh, look at that. Ah, yes.
Hat. Yeah.
Hans is looking very nice in his hat.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
That's a beautiful hat
too.
It's from Australia, bush hat.
Bush hat. That looks nice.
Yes.
Right. I like it.
I might come over to your house and thieve it away.
Okay.
Well, if anybody needs to borrow a hat kind of long term, I probably am your girl. I've got a few to loan out, right?
You do. Emily's a hat lady.
I inherited being a hat lady.
Marge made one in her car.
What's it made out of? I can't tell.
It looks like a newspaper. Yay, Marge.
As long as it's not tinfoil, we're good, right?
That's right.
I mean, whatever, you do you, but Wow, I'm impressed.
Go Marge.
You can tell she was a teacher because she just came up with that all of a sudden.
Yes.
Myra, I'm surprised you haven't already folded one up as well.
Oh, I don't. I'm being lazy.
Oh,
Okay.
I
You can
support
have
that
half of my hat.
yeah, not your typical way of operating. All right, well, I wanted to see kind of what our group size and makeup was today before I, got us too far into what we're doing. So, we got to be adaptive and kind of work with who's here. Let me get my screen share going here. Let's see.
I'm really sorry you didn't hear that yesterday, but Steve was just praising you to high heavens. If anybody remembers, we used to have
Joni Mitchell.
We used to have a nice guy. What was his name? Dave?
Oh.
Was it Dave? He used to come on and work with our brains.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Dave Parks.
Dave Parks, thank you. And Steve was telling Heather how much more creative that Dave always used canned presentations that his company gave it, but that Emily keeps making up her own stuff and how creative she is. I just wanted y'all all to know that.
We agree.
My thought is some people are creative and some people are not.
That's true.
So
it is true.
Accept it.
Dave, it is 100% true. And I think we're probably all creative in different ways.
Yeah, we sometimes don't realize.
Right? And so what one person calls creative, maybe another person wouldn't. But I know, I bet Dawn is really creative when it comes to problem solving that involves technical things, right?
Yep. And painting.
And painting.
I am not.
Yeah, well, if I was to put something together like this, nobody would like it but me, because it'd be all questions that I knew and probably nobody else would. So.
Creativity comes out of, it comes from when we know just enough and we want to know more a lot of the time, right? Mm-hmm. But it also comes from boredom. It comes from curiosity, which I guess is boredom. Boredom is really one of the best things you could do for your creative self, right? Let yourself get truly bored and you'd be surprised at all the creativity that can come out of it. I am not bored in my life almost ever. And my creativity comes out of maybe necessity. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, okay. Let's do Fit Wits. Let's do it.
Yay.
Let's see what happens.
Yay.
Yay.
Let's be a fit wit.
Yeah. So you see, we've got one of our themes that we'll talk about today is maybe you're inspired to consider what that might be from this image. It's a pretty simple slide. So what is this, when you see this image, does anybody have a thought that comes to mind, or something that they associate with this image on the screen?
A little bit.
Anybody?
I think about bad habits. Go ahead, Yetta.
Freeing of the slaves.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I think too.
Yes.
Freedom of slaves. Okay.
Yep. So that is definitely the image that I was thinking of when I used that for today. And so a little bit later, we'll talk about why I picked that image.
Good.
So today is September 22nd. Is that right?
It's the first day of autumn.
I think so.
It's the first day of autumn, that's correct.
All right. Well, we'll all be wrong together if that's the case.
We have 9-7.
Surprisingly, I believe this temperature prediction is correct for today, that we've got a high of 97 and a low of 71. It is pretty stinking hot out there for September, isn't it?
Yeah.
And 59% humidity means it actually takes our bodies longer to sweat. did I say that the opposite way? Anybody?
Opposite.
Okay.
The humidity takes a toll on us. Feels a little hot out there.
I'm damp.
Let's
It
see.
takes me longer to get really, really dry after a shower
Yeah.
because I'm damp and the bath is damp and it's
Everything's just got a little stickiness on it.
that's
All
it.
right. Yeah.
Oh, how
So, and
pretty.
then anybody want to?
Yeah.
This one's a little more
On which
abstract.
day?
This is the first day of autumn, according to the what you call it, the equinoxes.
Yeah.
It's the autumnal equinox.
Yes,
The
it is.
autumnal equinox.
Yep.
So,
A word. That's a really long name.
It is,
I
isn't
know
it?
it is a long name. So the equinox. So for us, it's the first day of autumn. What is it the first day of if you live in New Zealand?
Oh, the first day of spring.
Right. So we often forget that there's this completely different sort of upside down version of what's happening here, at least the way that we talk about it. Something can happen on September 22nd here, and we might associate it with the fall or the autumn. And if something happens on September 22nd in New Zealand, they might associate it with the spring. Or we might just remember today's date. I like this image. It reminds us that there is, I don't know, what does it remind you of? What does it inspire you to think of when you see this image?
The harvest.
Yeah? Anybody else? There's no right or wrong answer.
It reminds me that there are as many roots on a tree as there are limbs on a tree. The tree goes down as far as it goes up.
And that way. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just a reflected image.
Right. Yep.
And a day
all great answers.
Gray
it's
or
just
sunny.
something to get our brains kind of thinking a little bit about what we see on the surface and what's underneath, and just considering our perspectives a little bit. So as noted in our first image on September 22nd, this same day in history, in 1862, is when President Abraham Lincoln issued the preliminary Emancipation Proclamation, declaring that all slaves in rebel states would be free as of January 1st of the following year. So it was a pretty big day in the history of freeing, working toward the idea of people, all people living in this country being free. And so it's a pretty important thing to remember that at some point in our history that was not the case. Another fun thing that happened on this day in 1985 brought these folks together. These are just a few of them. My goodness, there were so many. Anybody know what these guys got together for?
Farm Aid?
Yeah, in 1985, it was the first Farm Aid concert.
Farm Aid concert.
Yeah,
it's not the Coca-Cola ad, is it? That was not the Coca-Cola ad, was it?
No.
No.
No. Let me bring us to my Farm Aid. Here we go. So Farm Aid became, and I thought it was kind of cool that they did the first concert on the first day of fall, because first of all, what a great time to have a concert outdoor in the Illinois area, which is, I believe, Champaign, Illinois is where the first one was held. They started out having this benefit concert in for the famine in Ethiopia, and then Bob Dylan made some comments on stage saying he really wished that they could do a benefit for American farmers to kind of keep the American family farm going. And as some of you may know, there are not that many family farms left, but all these musicians decided to get on stage. They all come from different backgrounds. They decided to get on stage and put all of their energy and their creativity, Paulette, their creativity into this one cause that they saw as worthy of their time and their energy, and felt characteristically American to them, the American family farm. And so, Jette, as I was doing all of this, Jette and Hans, I became aware that we focus, because of where we are, primarily on things that happened on this day in our history. And I'm curious about what might have been happening in history on this day where you were born. And so let's look into it. So your hometown, Jette, is Nyborg.
Yes.
N-Y-B-O-R-G. B-O-R-G, Denmark.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I need to speak the language in order to look for this, but we're going to find out.
That probably
And
Google Translate will help you out.
You know, thank you for that, Don. The history of Nyborg. Sorry, please pronounce it for me so I don't butcher it.
Nyborg.
Nyborg.
Yeah.
Okay, you'll probably have to tell me again at some point. Maybe not today, though. All right. So I wonder if there's a resource for finding things that happened on this day in history there.
I have no idea.
I'm curious what you would recommend.
I have absolutely no idea.
No idea. Okay.
No.
Well,
no. If then I would say the Danish history, because Nyborg is just a small town. Now it was the capital at one point.
Okay, so I wonder if we say on this day in Danish history. Ah la la.
While you're looking that up.
Yes, ma'am.
It was today.
Oh, cool. You found it.
Well, maybe.
I would maybe go up in the one above it on this day, historical event.
That one, yeah.
Go.
It helps to have all these eyes, right? All these other eyes on the screen. Danish history. So are these on this date?
I don't know.
Probably not.
No.
It looks like there's like just scroll down. Maybe there's some more of this.
It doesn't sound right.
No, it doesn't.
I'm 15% Danish.
Oh, you are?
I am.
Very cool.
It is very cool.
Are you cheese Danish, Martha?
I am 15% Danish.
Okay.
Ancestry.com taught me that. I did a...
It looks... Okay, so in order to do a deep dive on this, we're going to have to, at some point, not today, we don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole, but at some point, we're going to have to find a resource for history of the world. Now, you couldn't convince me if you tried that that knowing what happened on this day in history, the curiosity about that is a uniquely American thing, right? Certainly there are people in other countries who are wondering what happened on this day, right? And so what is it that people in those places do to satisfy their curiosity? And how can we get creative and problem solve to find what some of those resources are. So that's like just a little bug in your ear. You could call it a homework assignment.
I have it.
You may never think of it again, or Martha, you may have the answer right now. What is it? Tell me.
www.brainyhistory.com.
Ooh, I like it already.
And it says September 22 in history, Rasmussen government in Denmark resigns.
Oh,
Well, that's significant. Rasmussen.
What
does it
government?
say why he did that?
Rasmussen.
Hold on. It's giving different, there's Belgium and Chile and Russia and Elton John. It doesn't say why he resigned. It was in 1994.
September 22nd,
1994.
1994?
Brainy history, September 22 events in history. And then it goes from 2015 back down. So around the world, which is what you were asking, Emily.
Yeah.
There's Pope Francis ended his visit to Cuba in 2015.
Sure.
The Treasury
So I found
in 2014.
So I found some events from around the world for
That's
today. And if you want to find those, you can look at Britannica is a place where you can find some of those. But then if we wanted to find events around the world to specific to a place.
Yeah. Just have to.
So is that how you searched it, Martha?
I put in September 22 events in history.
Okay.
And then
I'm making a note of it.
Showed up. Denmark just showed up as one of them. If we'd asked it for tomorrow, it would have told us something different, I'm sure. The IRA bomb killed British Marines. Canada makes a maple leaf coin. South Korea attacked.
There's a New York Times article.
Oh, good.
Yay. Look what we did. We solved a problem.
Look
so if we wanted to, well, I didn't do it, Martha. You did it. We did it together.
Yeah.
So you can actually see the article in its original context from that day. Looking at, you would have to subscribe.
Yes.
But or purchase, right, if you really wanted to. But you can read a digitized version right here.
Oh.
So how do you pronounce this name, Jette?
Poul
Prime
Nyrup.
Minister.
Prime Minister Poul Nyrup Rasmussen.
Nyrup.
Nyrup. It's like Nyborg. You know, the Y is pronounced as an Y.
Nyrup.
Y is actually a vowel in the Danish language.
Oh.
Okay, gotcha. So it sounds like you a little bit, but different.
But different, very different.
Let's all say it together. Everyone, let's all say it together.
New.
So it's a little bit nasal. It's a little bit
in
the back of the throat.
It all comes from, there's nothing nasal in it.
Nothing nasal, all the back of the throat?
Yes.
Yeah.
Phil and Paulette, are you practicing with us?
And Nancy's got her eyes closed. I think she's not going to play.
All right. That's okay. That's okay.
We love you, Nancy.
Very cool that we learned something here.
Isn't she cool?
And
yes,
she is.
Oh my goodness, that's wonderful.
We have a delay again. It seems like we might. So I was wondering if we might be able to look at the meaning of the equinox, and that's also, we've got these themes for our day. One of them is the Emancipation. Another one is this Farm Aid concert. Sorry, I don't mean to jolt you guys around here. I'm having a hard time seeing here. And another, yes, Martha?
Is that Joni Mitchell?
It is Joni Mitchell.
Wow.
She was one of the many artists who performed at Farm Aid. And for one of our slides, I thought we could think of things that we might find on a farm. But first, let's do equinox. So what's the best way for you, right, to understand the equinox? Or how do you understand what the equinox is?
I normally do the longest and the shortest day. We never really did anything on, you know, then just fall happens on the 22nd and spring on the in the spring. In
21st, usually.
In March, yeah. But it's I normally just associate it with the longest and shortest day in June and December.
Yeah. So if we look at the word itself, and we broke it down into its parts, the equi part, what are some other?
Horse.
What?
Horse. Equine.
Equine.
Horse.
Equine.
Interesting. Horse. Okay. Yeah. So.
Equal day and equal night.
Did you hear Marge?
Equal. I did. Equal day and night.
Yeah,
so let's just start with the equal, the equi part, the EQUI. Horse is what Martha thinks of. So if we wanted to make an image, this will be fun. We'll have some really unique ways of doing this. Those are good ones. Equal and horse. Okay. And then what about the?
There was a play called Equus.
Equus, yes.
EQUUS, and it talked about the death of a horse, and there was a nude scene in it.
Yeah, it was by and the guy that plays in Harry Potter was the guy that was nude.
Oh my goodness!
Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Interesting.
I saw it on stage in the 70s.
And what does Nox mean?
Night.
Yeah. Anybody else? Now you can find a word that you think of when you hear Nox.
Noxious.
Or you could focus on what the word means as far as origin, or the part of the word, I should say. Oh. So Yetta said night.
Well, that's interesting, because the first thing that pops up when I look it up is the Roman goddess of night.
Oh.
All right.
Oh.
I didn't know.
So when you look up Nox, there's a Roman goddess of night. That's cool.
Yep, the daughter of Ebrius, which has to do with Hades, the god of Hades, god Hades.
So if we wanted to make a graphic that helped us think of equinox, if we took let's say we took
Black
a horse. Oh, I like that. But what if we need to break we need to a horse riding into the sunset? How cool.
I mean, someone on a horse riding into the sunset and have a sunrise on the other side.
See how creative you are?
I put this out of myself, creative. That's why I refused to do grade school when I first started.
So,
and I ended up in grade school in the end.
Very cool.
What happens to Marge when she puts on a paper hat?
That's right.
Very nice. She's got her thinking cap on, y'all. Look out.
She does.
Let's use one of these for night. And then if we put our horse plus our knight, that gives us a good way of remembering equi and nox, just to help us narrow it down. How about this one? Does anyone see this and think of knight?
Yep, that's like
Sure.
nice.
Okay, it works. Let's find a plus sign, a big plus sign.
Was John painting this?
Okay, so I will combine these and email them to you.
Excellent.
So you know we worked on ways of remembering equi and nox. So now let's talk more about what it actually is. So these graphics are really helpful for some people, and some people are going to look at them and just kind of glaze over. But if we want the language around what the equinox is, I'll bring that to the front here for you. Text. Here we go.
Ooh.
Who wants to read it? Anybody? I suppose I would have to make it readable for you first.
I can read it.
Okay.
A solar equinox is a moment
Don.
in time. A solar equinox is a moment in time when the sun crosses the Earth's equator, which is to say it appears directly above the equator rather than north or south of the equator. On the day of the equinox, the sun appears to rise due east and set due west.
Perfect. So it sounds like.
Is this the day that Stonehenge is so cool?
Sun was always.
Well, I think it's one of the equinoxes.
The sun always about the equator, no matter.
Is it? Martha, are you going to find out for us?
I'm going to look.
Okay.
Hello?
I knew somebody would be all over it.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So maybe the equi comes from equitable. I'm sure that it does, because I think the equi in equator comes from the idea of something being even or the same.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Don.
It's the geographical location where every point on the equator is equal distance between the North Pole and the South Pole.
That's right. Which of these images, anybody?
Oh gosh.
What are we trying to find out? The equator?
I don't know. Those don't feel like the best ones. Let's find something from the good old internet.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna let you guys look at them and then, whoopsie, tell me if one of them is standing out to you. Now, I know you can't see a lot of the writing, and so maybe it's good for us to pick one that is more visual than it is.
The one that stands out to me
descriptive.
Is the one where there's a sun and red lines going over to the earth, and there's a white line around the earth. That one. That's must be the equator.
That seems
that one stood out to me too.
Mm-hmm.
So
I did not.
Hi, Mike.
Hello. Hello there.
Oh, Marge has shut down because Mike is now back in the car.
Okay, I'm sorry. He did the thing wrong.
That's okay.
It's all good.
The microphone is unmuted.
I can set that image as our background.
While you're
And
doing
then
that,
let's look at it. Yes, Martha,
would you like for me to read about Stonehenge?
please do.
Stonehenge Autumn Equinox. There is a tour this year. It is believed by some that Stonehenge was erected with the supervision of astronomer priests as part of their astrological calendar so that people knew the optimal time to breed cattle, plant, and harvest. Mabon, M-A-B-O-N, is the first day of autumn and the changing of the guard with the seasons, and it usually falls on or around September 23rd. It is 1 or 2 days in the year when there are 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night, and of the year that the harvesting of crops happens, preparing for the winter months ahead. For Druid pagans, this is one of the major celebrations of the year.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I know people who are having little gatherings today to sell. Now, I don't think they would classify themselves as Druid pagans necessarily, but they are folks who celebrate the ways that the earth and our experience in the earth can impact our lives and signal to us some, and just remind us of some of the cycles of life, right? So one of the things that happens after the equinox is that so tomorrow the day will be just a little bit wet compared to and then that will happen all the way until
21st of December.
Mm-hmm.
And then
haven't we been getting shorter days since June?
June 21st,
yeah,
yes.
But this is just the day when they're equal.
Equal, okay, equal.
Yeah. So
okay.
even though, so we went from the days being longer, so much longer that it was sort of top heavy with day and much less night. Today's the day where we're passing through that equal period into the other part where it's bottom heavy with night and lighter on the day, right? Not as much day and more night. So
it's beginning to make sense to me now.
Well, can I make another?
Yes,
make another
please.
comment?
Yes,
the
100%.
The solstice, the winter and summer solstice, are the days when either night is the longest or day is the longest time of the year.
Right.
So, and the equinoxes are when night and day are equal.
Exactly. Yep. So if we imagine that, we're traveling in this cycle, if you put a circle, like let's look at the circle here. You could put a point at the top, a point at the bottom, and a point on each side. And as we continue our travels here around the sun, I feel like it's frozen. There we go. We get either closer to more daylight or closer to more night.
Right.
Right. Yay. It's fun to be correct. So, okay, real quick, we did all that, like mixing science and language,
yes.
And we mixed science and some kind of go back all the way back.
Go back.
Some more what's the word I'm looking for? Abstract concepts.
Yes.
So we took some things that are pretty concrete and some things that are pretty out there, and we brought them together right there in the middle of us.
Right.
And you guys did really awesome with that. I thought maybe we would take a lighthearted quiz about this week in history. So this is going to include events that happened all over the world and not just events that happened in the United States. And here is our first question. So I suppose what we can do here in the beginning is anybody can yell out the answer, but if it ends up being just one person and the others don't get a chance, then I don't know. Well, we may have to switch the rules in the middle of the game. Anybody know out there? I'm sorry, guys. There's a
1908.
there's actually a multiple choice if I could get to where you can see it. All right.
All right. Well, it was not Ford because Henry Ford did.
I'm just going to tell you, I got it wrong. But there were two that I felt like were a strong possibility, and I, chose wrong. But so no, you're correct. It's not Ford.
I'd go with Chrysler.
Okay, that's
Anybody
what
else?
I went with.
Oh, that's what. So you were wrong, though.
Yeah, it would have been
Yeah, I was wrong. It's General Motors.
It is General Motors. Okay.
Don't say that.
Mara got it. Mara got it right.
I suppose I went with Durant because I thought, or with Chrysler because I thought there was a car named Chrysler Durant. At least that's what I told myself. But I might have made that up. The brain does that, right? We create associations where there are none. It's okay. Who directed the documentary Roger and Me?
What was it about?
What's it about?
Yeah.
Roger and Me, did you say? Was the name Roger and Me?
Roger and Me.
Roger.
I don't remember what it's about. I know who directed it only because I guess I know more about this director than I did.
Michael Moore, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So let's look up what it's about later on, in all our time together.
I can do that.
We sure have a long list of things to take care of and look up in our spare time. We're going to be so busy after this. What film based on the Tennessee Williams play made Marlon Brando a star? Nancy, I know you know this one. I can feel it.
In all those, well, he was.
Let some others answer.
Nancy?
John, you're right.
Nancy?
Marlon Brando. What was his big breakout movie?
His
I didn't hear your
breakout
question.
So Nancy,
the
on the
waterfront.
screen, that's not it. On the screen, we've got some choices for the Tennessee Williams play that made Marlon Brando a star in 1951.
Probably The Streetcar Named Desire.
Yes, I would say that.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes. Stella.
That's right.
Right? Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. I learned about it in 9th grade theater class. Boy, my theater teacher was a big Tennessee Williams fan. Okay. In 1893, which country was the first in the world to grant women the right to vote?
Well, it certainly wasn't us.
Oui.
True. 1893. First
Finland,
country.
New Zealand. I don't know, Finland or New Zealand.
That's true. Yes.
New Zealand.
Yay,
Okay.
New Zealand.
I would say New Zealand.
They seem to be progressive in many areas.
Which is the
how many people?
country?
The happiest?
The happiest country.
Yeah,
Oh,
now Finland is
Finland, thank you.
one of the Scandinavian countries.
Interesting.
How many were hanged?
Oh, so anybody can answer this one if you know it. How many people were hanged because they thought they were witches during the Salem witch trials in Massachusetts?
I would guess 35.
I
But
guess.
let somebody else guess. Somebody else guess. Somebody else guess too.
I'll 20. I'll guess. Oh, there's not a hello, Martha.
No, there's 19. There's 19.
You can make up your own number. I don't think you'll get it, but you can make up your own number. 19. Okay, that's actually correct.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So this city suffered a devastating fire this week in 1812. I think there was a famous piece of music written around this time.
Oh, it's Moscow.
Yep, that's correct.
The what's a piece of music name? Something.
The Overture of 1812 is
1812 Overture. Yes.
Yep. That's the association I have. What English monument did Cecil Chubb buy for £6,600 in 1915?
Cecil Chubb.
I'll give you a hint. We were just talking about it.
Stonehenge.
Pounds.
You got it. All right. And I know we need to go. We only have 55 more questions. No, I'm kidding. We'll just do a couple more. Okay. A DNA study in 2016 found which civilization the oldest known on Earth?
The Australians.
The Australians,
The
yes.
Aboriginals.
That's right. Lots of cool stuff coming from down under. All right. So which one of these dance crazes was started by, so which song went to #1 on Billboard this week in 1960, starting a worldwide dance craze?
Had to be the twist.
Mm-hmm.
The Macarena was later.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, did they do the Macarena in 1960?
No, they didn't.
No, that was in the late 90s. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a 90s thing. The surrender of Pope Pius IX in 1870 finally unified Italy and ended the independence of the Papal States after how many years?
Do we have any Catholics in the room?
I have no idea.
I don't either.
Clearly no Catholics in the room.
Really?
All right. So are we going to guess?
I'd go either 983 or 1016, but I don't know.
I'll agree with you.
Okay. Which one do you feel stronger about, Yetta?
I feel stronger about the higher one, but I don't know.
Okay.
Yep.
There you go.
There you go.
11,000 years, 1,100 years.
700 years.
All right. So
these are fun.
Yeah. I like this.
We did well, you guys. We did quite well. The average score was only 5.9. And when we put our brains together with our thinking caps on, we got a 10. 10 out of 10, you guys. Pretty great.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you guys for being good collaborators. Let me bring us back to our Fit Wits screen. So what's this image have to do with? Just a quick recapitulation.
Free and the slaves.
And what's the word?
Emancipation.
Our word. You got it. All right.
Okay.
What's the thing? So is this a farm? Let's go with it. This is a farm.
It's a farm.
Let's say yes.
What's the thing that happened on this day that had to do with farms?
With the farm. Mm-hmm.
Autumn equinox. No?
Farming.
Also relevant though, Don.
Harvest.
Also relevant. I mean, also important, and maybe the reason why they picked this day to have this event.
Farm Aid.
Yep, you got it.
Yay.
And of course.
Thank you, Myra.
Whatever this image reminds you of.
Equinox, the fall.
Yeah, equinox.
Maybe. And then, so next year on equinox, we'll have a picture of a horse, right?
Yep.
And plus the night.
Yep.
We'll have we'll have our horse plus our knights, and maybe we can simplify that and remember that equi plus nox is equinox. We'll see, right? I don't know. See if we can make those associations. Thanks for playing today, guys. It was
Yes,
super
Emily.
fun.
And Emily needs a break before she does this again at 11:30.
That's right.
All right.
No
Well,
rest for
thank
the
you,
wicked.
Emily.
Thank you, Emily.
Thank you, Emily.
Emily.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye. So long. Farewell.
Emily's going to do
Say
this
goodbye.
4 times today. She's going to do this at 11:30 and at 1:30. And then tomorrow, all day long, we have Buddy
Buddy
Gray
Gray.
and Magic Piano. So we have a lot to look forward to. Maybe I'll see some of you again before the day's over. I hope so. Yeah. If not, see you tomorrow.
Right.
All
All
righty.
right.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, I
Martha.
won't be there tomorrow, Martha.
Okay. Good to
Okay.
know. Good
Yeah.
to know. Yes,
Bye.
Marge.
Okay, I was just letting you, we're home now. What's the afternoon program?
Same thing. Emily's going to do that again.
Oh, okay, good. I'll turn it on and I'll make myself scarce.
See you later.
I am so sorry for that, but you see,
Do not worry about it 1 minute. That's what we're here for.
what I want is, I think he's away. Is that part of the bipolar, or is that also a symptom of the dementia?
Your counselor could help you better with that than I could, because
Okay.
I don't know him that well. It could be either one.
So I never associated with the dementia. So thank you.
And it depends on what kind
Okay, Mike's right here.
See you later.
He got here just for a second.
of. Okay.
Here for a
Hey,
minute.
Mike.
Howdy.
We're doing this again at 11:30. We'll see you there.
11:30 or 1:30?
No, 11.
Both of them.
He does it all morning, 3
Both
times.
of them. We're doing it at 11:30 and at 1:30.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.